My name is Emily. I'm 25 years old. I started working at Dream Design 6 months ago. I love architecture. It is my dream to design beautiful spaces. On my first day, I felt nervous. The office was big, with many people busy at their desks. I wanted to impress everyone, especially my boss, David. David is tall and handsome, with dark hair and a kind smile. On my first day, he welcomed me warmly. "Welcome, Emily. I am happy to have you here," he said. His words made me feel special. I wanted to do my best work and show him I belonged at Dream Design. Every day I worked very hard. I stayed late to finish my projects, often skipping lunch. David noticed my dedication. He often said, "Good job, Emily. Your designs are impressive." Each compliment made my heart flutter. I admired him, not just as a boss, but as a person. As the weeks passed, David and I started spending more time together. We worked on projects as a team. During our meetings, he would ask for my opinions and ideas. I felt valued and important. We also had lunch together sometimes. He would share stories about his work experiences, and I would listen, fascinated. I hoped that David liked me too. I dreamed about him often. I thought maybe he cared for me. My heart raced when he smiled at me or complimented my work. I started to feel something deeper than friendship. But there was a small voice in my head that said, "Be careful. He is your boss." One afternoon, I was talking to a coworker named Sarah. She was friendly and we often shared lunch. During our conversation, she said, "Emily, did you know David is married?" My heart sank. I felt confused and betrayed. How could I have not known this? I felt my world shift beneath me. The next day, I had to face David. My stomach was in knots. I decided to ask him about his family. "David, do you have a family?" I asked, trying to sound casual. He smiled and said, "Yes, I have a wife and 2 kids." My heart broke. I realized I had fallen for a married man. After that day, things became hard. I saw David every day at work. He was still kind to me, but I felt pain inside. Every time he smiled, I remembered he was married. I felt guilty for my feelings. I wanted to leave my job, but I needed the income to support myself. I felt trapped in my situation. I wanted to be happy, but I had to pay my bills. I thought about looking for another job, but I was scared. I stayed at Dream Design even though it hurt to see David. Each day was a struggle, and I felt more isolated. One day, a new colleague joined our team. His name was Alex. He was friendly and funny. He had a bright smile and a positive attitude. Alex often made me laugh during our breaks. I started to feel a little happiness again. He was kind and respectful, and I enjoyed talking to him. As time passed, Alex and I became friends. He listened to my problems and offered support. I started to forget about David, even if it was just for a moment. Alex made me feel valued and appreciated. He often invited me to join him for lunch, and I enjoyed our conversations about life and dreams. One evening after work, Alex asked me to have dinner with him. I felt excited. During dinner, he looked at me seriously and said, "Emily, I really enjoy spending time with you. You are an amazing person." My heart raced. I began to see Alex in a new light, and I felt a connection forming. A few months later, Alex took me to a beautiful park. The flowers were blooming and the sun was shining. He looked nervous as he held my hand. "Emily, I care about you deeply. Will you marry me?" he asked, his voice shaking. I was surprised and happy. I smiled widely and said, "Yes." As I prepared for my wedding, I felt a sense of peace. I realized I had found true love with Alex. We planned the wedding together, choosing a beautiful venue and inviting our closest friends and family. I felt excited about our future. Just when I thought everything was perfect, I received a message from David. He wanted to meet. My heart raced with anxiety. What could he want? When we met, he looked serious. "Emily, I need to talk to you," he said. David took a deep breath. "I've decided to leave my wife," he said. "I want to be with you." My heart raced with shock. "But David, you have a family," I replied. "This is not right." He insisted that his marriage was over and that he cared for me deeply. In a moment of weakness, I found myself drawn back to David. I felt a mix of confusion and longing. David told me that he loved me and wanted to start a new life together. I hesitated but was tempted by the idea of being with someone I had admired for so long. After a whirlwind of emotions, I made the decision to marry David. We had a small wedding ceremony, filled with excitement and anticipation. I thought this was a new beginning, a chance to build a life together without the shadows of the past. For a while, everything seemed perfect. David made me feel cherished, and I believed he had truly changed. The first year of our marriage felt like a dream. We traveled together, explored new cities, and I even designed our first home together. David showered me with affection, and I believed I had made the right choice. But deep down, a part of me remained cautious. As time went on, I noticed subtle changes in David's behavior. He started working late more often, claiming he was busy with projects. I tried to be supportive, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I found myself missing the honesty and simplicity of my relationship with Alex. One evening, I had a late meeting at the office. As I was leaving, I decided to stop by the break room for a snack. To my horror, I saw David there with a woman from another department, laughing and whispering closely together. My heart raced as I watched them. I stood frozen as they leaned in closer, their laughter filling the room. Then, without warning, David cupped the woman's face in his hands and kissed her. My breath caught in my throat. I felt like the ground had fallen away beneath me. I turned and fled the office, tears streaming down my face. I confronted David the next day. "Who is she?" I demanded, my voice trembling with hurt. He looked shocked, then angry. "It's not what you think, Emily," he said defensively. "We were just discussing a project." I felt my heart shatter. I demanded the truth. After a long silence, he admitted, "I've been seeing her for months." I felt lost and heartbroken. The man I had married, the man I thought I could trust, had betrayed me in the worst way. I packed my things and left the house that night, tears streaming down my face. I knew I had to find a way to heal and reclaim my life. I filed for divorce soon after, feeling a mix of sadness and relief. The process was painful, but I knew it was necessary. I couldn't remain in a relationship built on lies and betrayal. I wanted to start fresh, to find myself again. With the divorce finalized, I made the difficult decision to leave Dream Design. The memories of my time there, intertwined with David's betrayal, felt too heavy to bear. I wanted a clean break and a chance to rediscover my passion for architecture in a new environment.